informal methods. When you say informal methods, it means there is some monies that we keep under boxes, in small boxes there. So the Uganda Regulatory Authority has come up with guidelines. With me is Mr. Tibbs Owikiriza, who is the manager, Microfinance Institute at UMRA. We're going to ask him, how is this method going to work? How are they going to put these guidelines, and how these guidelines are going to be implemented? You're most welcome, Mr. Tibbs. We are here at UMRA, and you're the ones who came up with these guidelines. How are these guidelines going to work?
Before that, Tibbs Owikiriza is my name. I'm the manager, microfinance institutions. Specifically, I'm in charge of SACCOs. When we talk of the guide, like the way you brought it, that we want to protect that money that is saved and informal money, keeping money informally, money put in boxes. We are trying to move from there. We are saying that this money can be mobilized in one pool, so that these other people have where to borrow from. You don't save and put money under the mattress and you say you've saved and we are protecting that, or we are regulating that. It can't work like that. We can't continue working like that. We have to come up with a way of mobilizing these savings. They are put in one pool so that other people can access.
What if the money belongs to me, myself? The money is mine and I am not under any other circle. Am I supposed also to go and register my savings to the district authorities?
Your money is your money. But we want these people to come together. You know, when you have a pool of money, a pool of resources, the cost of even lending, the cost of borrowing reduces. So if you have your own money, you join other group members, others. And in Kenya, in fact, they call it table banking. You bring your money here. These people who are interested in borrowing, they can borrow from that pool. So you've not kept your money alone. You don't need you as an individual to go and register. It is this group that have come together with members that you need to go to the district and register, so that we'll start looking at the books of accounts of the group, not an individual.
Let me ask, there's this situation where I come from the village where women come together, start collecting their money, they call it a circle, but they still use those big boxes to keep their money. Is that the best way to go, or no? If they, what should they do now? Because we don't want to save the money informally, in an informal method.
Money that you keep under in a box and you keep it, you think you've kept it. It's not a good money. But you say after some time, you can bring out this money and you put on a table, like I said, table banking, like in Kenya, so that there are other people who can use this money to do business. Not keeping in a box for 5 years and it's in a box somewhere. It comes to the public. People can use it. And that's a group we are talking about that need to be registered, so that we start regulating it through district commercial officers.
How is the registration going to be? Who should I go to the district if I want to register my...
You know, local government has structures. Okay. There is a district community development officer who is based at a district. But even when you go down to sub-counties, they have community development officers. So if you want to register this group, you can approach a community development officer at sub-county, and he will help you to register your group at a district level.
I was discussing with one person who happens to be under that method, keeping money in small boxes. Then she was asking, she was like, is the district or government going to keep our money, or the money will still keep with us?
In fact, what we are doing, we are formalizing. these groups that you are talking about, we are formalizing them. Once they get a certificate of registration, they can go and open an account in a commercial bank or in another institution regulated by a regulator like Bank of Uganda, like UMLA. They can go and open an account. If they have excess, when they collect this money in one pool, there are people there who are looking for loans, who are looking for credit. So they can give credit and they finish the money there and then. But if there is excess that they think they should keep, or to keep for other reasons, because saving is important, we are linking them to the commercial bank, to a bank, to keep the money. That money will not be kept in a box forever, like you are saying. The district is not going to keep their money. The money will be kept in a financial system.
I'm looking at the process to formalizing those things. Also, it's not that easy. I have seen people going.
That's what we are trying to do
now.
To make it easy. That's what we are trying to do to make it easy. These 10 group members, let's assume here we are 10 members, and we have come together. So we are saying, register your group with a community development officer. Then you get a certificate of registration. With this certificate of registration, you can go to the bank or to a micro-deposit taking institution or even to a circle and open an account there as a group. So if you have your savings, you deposit there. Even if you want to borrow, in fact, that's what I'm saying. We are creating linkages with formal financial institutions. That's where you can borrow. That's where you can save.
Mr. Tibbs, yes. I come from the village. I'm a villager. Yes. I don't come from Kampala. Yes. I know what people say from the village. Some people, our mothers who did not even go to school, do not trust the performance of these banks. They don't trust these banks. I'm telling you, they will say, our centers are bagenda tan because ziri ye, but unco to sala. It's my, the interest rates. So what's your take on that?
You see, I said from the beginning, when you mobilize your savings, you don't mobilize your savings to keep it forever. There are people who are demanding credit, who want money. You mobilize the savings.
They are doing it their way.
I've seen it. Maybe for you are not part of any group. For me personally, I'm part of such a groups. We meet on Saturday days. We come with our savings. And by the time we come, there are people who have applied for loans. And they get loans at the lower interest rates. So if we have some surplus, that's when we say, we've linked you with an institution where you can save your money. But otherwise, this money is not meant to be kept in a box forever. That's what we are saying. We are moving away from that rudimentary method of keeping money. That's what we are encouraging. It may not be easy, but we are encouraging it. Let's formalize. Instead of keeping money under a pillow, it can go to a financial system. It can go into a financial system so that it can be used by somebody. It can be used at that level when you are meeting. If you have excess, you can put it in a financial institution. Then somebody else can access it. Do you know why we have high interest rates? Because loanable funds, there is no enough funds to give out. Because of that, these institutions that want to lend out, they go and borrow from these other institutions. And when you borrow, let's say 10%, you can't lend at 10%. So let's mobilize all these savings. They go into a financial system. And somebody who wants a credit can get it.
Okay, now, Barija, Andrew, you can hear what the government is doing. This is Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority. They are not going to take your money from your villages or from your boxes, but what they're trying to say, what they are saying, they're trying to formalize, take that money, open up a bank account, and keep it safe. You never know what may happen. Accidents do happen, fire outbreaks do happen, and people can lose a lot of money. You can, after saving your money, you put in your box and it's kept in somewhere in a kasonda, and fire outbreak comes up, and your money will be burnt for nothing. So it's better to go and be kept at the bank. So Uganda Microfinance Regulatory is trying to formalize these systems to make it look good.
Thank you.
Back to you from the studios.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Benson Mumbere, for that additional report regarding formalization of savings. And of course, when that discussion with the UMRA, which is the regulatory authority for the different circles, of course, we see the aspect of informal savings to be formalized and also district officials to take charge. Now, the point is, where does this come from? Because according to a report released that's by the project by the project of financial inclusion, most especially in the rural areas. It says that about 312 savings and credit cooperative organizations in Uganda are victims of fraud. So that really makes it so essential. And why is this fraud coming about? That it comes back to informal savings. You know, the ways people save the money, it's not formal. So that's why there is a very key important aspect to ensure that the government officials take charge of such initiatives regarding saving money for the SACCOs. And of course, still according to the report by the Project of Financial Inclusion, it says that out of the 64 registered, 64 out of the 453 registered SACCOs in Uganda have collapsed, while 312 are struggling due to fraud and poor governance, among other challenges, of course being one of the ways. So that's why in this particular interview with Petson Mumber on ground, there was the aspect of to ensure that the district officials take charge of such initiatives. And this will be very, very influential in terms of course, reducing the fraud amongst the SACCOs. Remember, we all know very well that in Uganda, the saving culture is not quite something that many Ugandans embrace. SACCOs is one of the ways this can be boosted. And remember, there are different reasons why people save, and of course the ultimate one being the reason to save, to invest. Why this? There is, of course, an initiative to ensure that Uganda transforms from the subsistence economy back to the money economy. So that will need investment and monetization of the different services. All right, we've come to the end of SMB this morning, and definitely it's a great honor to have you from where we started, from the news recap till this particular hour, as we are winding up, as it's exactly 46 minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. Coming up is Financial Markets with Anthony Sebali, and of course you will be in position to get informed in that world of finances and you make the appropriate decisions. Till tomorrow, good morning.
African continent, we have a country like Nigeria, it has no domestic or foreign debt. It's still on the African continent. Uganda was major exporting and earning from coffee. Uganda withdrew voluntarily from the International Coffee Organization. It was our major export, so we cannot export largely on our international market. We have just passed a budget, you have not accounted for it. It's a quarter way. And you say now you want to borrow, almost competing with the budget passed and put on ransom the people of Uganda. It's unacceptable. And as well, coming to borrow without elaborating the reason for the borrowing.
Of course, we come out to borrow because there are sometimes emergencies that need money, and when that money is not in the budget, so by all means you find yourself borrowing. Let me hope the people who are alleging that we borrow for nothing, they are not saying the right thing. We borrow because of certain reasons, because of government programs, government projects. There are so many projects that need money. And sometimes they come on board when we have already passed the budget. So, and we find that we need money. Sometimes the money is little that had been put in the budget, and we still find that this project needs more money. So that's why we borrow.
So which are some of these projects?
Of course, I can give you an example of this Ebola. It is something that came on board, though we know there are other emergencies, but it can come in a bigger way that you had not anticipated, and then you end up borrowing. Thank you.